people who voted for Trump are all like witch hunt. This is bull. There's nothing they could do. You put me on that jury.
Most people on the other side.
You put me on that jury, and you throw like the entire trial. I'm going la 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 in my brain. I'm playing royal match, and they're like, so we think whatever. I'm like, not guilty. Yeah. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, not guilty. They're like, do you want to look at the whatever? I'm like, no, I don't. Good. And good luck swaying my opinion, you weasels. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you think you're gonna
the perfect juror?
Hey, you're gonna peer pressure me into he's guilty. Give it your best shot, wit. All right, so switching gears, I just looked to see what's going on, and the first thing that came up was the updates on the Trump trial and how they're allowing them to talk about the Access Hollywood tape, which, if you're unclear on what that is, that's the, grab him by the pussy tape, which I have always said I don't believe is real. I think that the tape is real. And I think they fucking deep faked just the grab him by the pussy part. I think that part is, yes, because you can't see him. You can't see his face in that part.
I mean, I can also imagine, I don't know the exact context of.
They're talking about how hot this chick is. And Trump is like, I better get some mints in case we just start kissing. And he's like, they'll let you do, he's like, when you're a celebrity, they'll let you do whatever you want. And the guy's all right. And then he's like, they do whatever. And then he's like, grab him by the pussy, whatever. And when Trump, when they played it, this was before deepfakes, were very public. This is during the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Right.
I remember reading about how Trump's response was, I don't talk like that. He's like, that's not something I don't talk like that. But if he got tricked, you know what I mean? Where he didn't realize, it's like you hear your own voice on tape and you're like, fuck, I don't, I'm just bullshitting with the boys. Yeah. Maybe I said that, I guess. And so, you apologize, but I have this really strong instinct that it's not real, that the whole thing's real except that one line. I think they just stuck that in there, dude. And
and no one remembers everything that they say, but
exactly. It was 10 years before that. 10 fucking years ago. If someone's like, hey, Jesse, remember in 2014 when we were doing this one of a billion shows that you did and you met with this guy, you talked about this hot chick and you were talking about what you can do because you're a celebrity, and you're like, no. It's like, you don't remember that? It's like, fuck no, I don't remember that. Yeah. If we're talking about some hot chick, are you fucking serious? They're like, yeah, you said you could grab their pussy. And they're like, I would never fucking say that. And they're like, well, you did.
We have the videotape right here.
See, here's the video. You can't see your face. You can't see anyone's face during that part.
So
no
weird.
One. It's just a video of the outside of the bus, and they're acting like it's a hot mic. You could see them talking other part, but that part, you can't see their face. Oh my God. By the way, while you were doing what you were just doing, I just had an epiphany that I am literally nearly certain that I'm right about.
What?
So Trump has all, the place where Trump is most likely to get thrown in the slammer.
New York.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It's all happening in New York. It's all very clearly being rigged against him.
Why in New York is it happening?
Well, I think he lived in New York during when some of this stuff happened. Okay. But here's what I was going to say. Where was Hillary Clinton a senator?
New York? Question mark?
Correct. Okay. Hillary Clinton was a senator of New York. And the craziest thing to think about is, okay, so Clinton was first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2000, becoming the first female senator from New York and the first lady to simultaneously hold elected office. As a senator, she chaired the Senate Democratic Steering and Outreach Committee from 2003 to 2007. And then she became the Secretary of State in 2008.
That was Obama's
Secretary of State, which she used to go create the Clinton Foundation, and they literally plundered the world.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I need to always preface something when I talk about Hillary Clinton, right? Because of the way that everything's set up now, I do see her as the bad guy, as a bad guy. That said,
mad respect for her hustle and her game, because she's a master.
Hardest bitch on earth. She's not only the hardest bitch on earth, she is she has amassed power in a way that is hard. I've told
that very few people do, let alone
in history.
Women, yeah.
And I've said this every time that I've talked about my iBegin experience. The first story that I tell is that I knew it was working the second that I had a fucking vision of me looking at an Instagram account with you and my family with another dude. And I was like, And at least 35% of my entire experience was spent thinking about Hillary Clinton specifically and
so
how
weird.
she fit into this entire global system. It was like it was shown to it was like I needed an example, it's not just, look, I understand people.
Right.
And so it's like, you want to understand how all this works? Take
this.
Hillary Clinton as an example.
Yeah.
And not imagine, but like, this is how all of this fits together. And here's where she sits. And it was like, oh my God. And it's like, you're looking down on the world. And it's like, and I try to explain it. I'm like, you have no fucking idea how powerful she is. Like, you do not even understand what she can do.
Do you think
if she
it was
wants to.
always her? Like, do you think that she is really behind like Bill being president? Like, do you think that was all her?
Oh, I don't know.
Masterminding?
I don't know about that. I think that her and Bill are partners in their business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say from lots of documentaries and things that I've read, whatever, you do not fuck with them, dude. Mm-mm. Like, you do not want to fuck with them. They will destroy you or kill you. And I just realized right now.
Hypothetically?
Not hypothetically. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, let's just say this. The number of people who have been in business with the Clintons who have committed suicide is unexplainable.
Yeah.
Dozens of people who were close to them are dead.
I mean, that's why there's like the underground saying the Clinton
body count. Yeah. So when you talk Hillary Clinton, and like, let me actually rewind. So one of the examples of her, like, you cross her and she'll destroy you, is how she treated the Bill Clinton accusers when they were like, he forced me to whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, she didn't play, clutch my pearl's wife. She destroyed those women. But that's kind of like a not very big deal example. But it's like, the bottom line, without getting into all these details of things she's done, if you fuck with her, she will fuck with you tenfold. Trump's entire campaign was lock her up.
Yeah.
Lock her up. She's going to lock him up, dude.
She's still playing. Yeah.
100%. He took the presidency from her. Mm-hmm. And with lock her up, dude, they are going to put him in fucking prison. And now I can't believe I didn't see it before. It'll go back to her.
All of it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in New York, dude. If you're a senator in New York, like, because that's what she does. She amasses, like, the same way that a person networks, she networks, except she's not concerned about people thinking they're friends, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about that.
No.
It's like, you can do me a favor, I can do you a favor.
She's like the center of this organism.
She is like, the best way I could describe how all of it fits together is you have business, government. Government is in reality what government, and then there's media. It's just media, government, corporations. And those are the three pieces of how everything works. Government is literally the enforcement arm. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Like, the government doesn't make money. They take taxes and then these corporations raid the tax base, but they are the enforcement arm. So, like, the people who sit in these high government positions while simultaneously being on these board of directors or even executives in these companies,
or just having their own,
are
enemies.
literally plundering the fucking world. Plundering.
For sure. Yeah.
She's going to put him in fucking prison. As much as I think this is going to destroy the country.
For her, it's like a personal vendetta.
It's so gangster, dude. I mean, I hate it more than anything. If they fucking put him in jail, I really think it'll break the country permanently. I actually don't know what'll happen, because I think if they actually do that, what will happen is, like, I think if you asked a lot of dumb people, they'll be like, oh, it's going to be
civil war,
an armed revolt. And that's not going to happen. No one is going to fucking prison for Trump. Like, I don't believe that that's a thing that'll happen. However, what I do think will happen is, because you have open social media platforms for conversation now at Twitter, it forces YouTube and Instagram Meta to not close ranks because you can't. I think that some of the most powerful voices in the world will actually go into offense. Like Joe Rogan right now, passive. Like, he talks shit about, like pharma and stuff like that, but he does it in a very, like, not sticking his beak in way. I think if you put him in a position where he feels like, our way of life is actually at risk, then he will get brave and use his platform to do, because like we could stop this from happening tomorrow if enough people organized and were like, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Like, but no one wants to be the one to stick their neck out. It requires someone with reach like that they cannot cancel
risk to do it too. Yeah.
To do it. And like, and again, and it is possible. Like, let's say that he did do something like that. He would absolutely have to coordinate with a bunch of other content creators also, just because if he did it by himself, they just lock him up too, dude. Mm-hmm. They just lock him up too.
Yeah.
But they can't they can't do everyone.
Exactly. Like there's so much power in numbers and it's so much easier to organize people now, but you still have to have.
But someone has to do the organizing, and they will. Dude, the leader of the Proud Boys is doing 22 years in prison for the January 6th thing, and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there.
It's nuts. I mean, it's like, you know, with your other channel, people sometimes are like, why don't you use your platform to say whatever? But it's a huge risk.
Well, it's also, I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
I won't do it. I'm telling you that right now. Like, my responsibility is not to society. My responsibility is to you and my 3 kids. Now, in the event that they shifted society in a way that I took as a threat to my family, that's different.
Right.
But if I assess it as like,
when California threatened our family, we left.
We left, exactly. It's like, for me, it's as simple as this, dude. What is the safest road for my children and my wife? End of story. If circumstances got to the point where like the less safe thing is
to speak out,
to revolt,
yeah,
then like you know what I mean?
We're in a crazy place.
I don't think that's good. I can't even
turn the air on, will you?
I can't even imagine that being the case. But I just mean like
oh, boo.
I just think this is a personal vendetta between Hillary Clinton and a bunch of people at the DNC that are happy as clams to fuck Trump. But like, you know, it's being driven by probably her and maybe Bill Gates and a couple other people. And they think they're going to put him in the slammer and then they just go back to business as usual. And maybe that's the case and maybe not. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the Access Hollywood tape is like a core piece of their.
It has nothing to do. He's literally being tried for paying Stormy Daniels $100,000 to not tell people he fucked her. I still
don't understand how that's a crime. Or they're saying that he used money
ridiculous.
From the.
The whole thing is such a stretch. It's like, oh, he's charged with mischaracter, whatever. It's just fucking nonsense.
But they're saying that it was like a tax evasion or something because
they're
he used
calling
money.
it election interference. They're just stretching the law, and they probably have the jury rigged that it's not going to matter. You know. But
like, how every politician has done it. Obviously,
dude, people have done so much
worse.
Dude, think about like John Edwards, that guy that was running for president. It turned out he had a secret baby with like his mistress, and he was paying her out of his campaign money.
Funds. Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, just to even start to itemize the things that politicians have been caught doing who did not face any repercussions whatsoever.
Yeah.
And this is the fucking former president of the United States, and you're trying to put him in prison for paying a chick to not talk about a sexual encounter that you had one time. It's so overtly right in your face.
But like, if he had paid it out of his personal money, that would have been fine. Is that like what they're saying? But that he used campaign funds, it's like misappropriation of funds and campaign interference. Like that's.
Honestly,
that's
what I've as I've listened to people who know this stuff better, they are saying that like none of this is a crime. Like, it's just not a crime, but it doesn't matter if you can get a jury to vote and say they're guilty. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
right.
You know, it just doesn't fucking matter. You just need to get the jury. And if you stack the deck, and if someone who wants to rig it,
to do that in New York. Yeah.
Just all they have to do is just know how these people vote. And look at their social media, and you just make sure that those are the people who get the letters, the ones who are on Twitter all day long. Trump is a fucking threat to society.
Does the defense, they don't have any say in the jury?
They do, but I'm saying if all of the jury that's there. You know, you question them and then you dismiss them.
Yeah.
So it's the process. You get a bunch of people there, and the prosecution and the defense both get to ask questions and dismiss
So
them.
you're saying if
The
100
judge-
out of 100 are...
And the judge made it to where you can't ask them how they voted. Why would he do that? And the answer is because then you would uncover very easily that they're all Biden voters. So you can't ask them who they voted for. Yeah. Or get into their politics.
They can't ask party affiliation. Can they ask like roundabout questions, like things that would
like uncover who they are?
Yeah.
Like how do you
what
feel
are your
about
feelings on abortion? Exactly.
Yeah. I have no idea. All I know is that they definitely were not allowed to ask who they voted for, and I think because if I was going to do this to I know they're doing this.
Don't the questions also have to be relevant to the case? Like you can't just ask someone like, "What's your favorite color?" Like.
I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like the questioning process is supposed to be, decide whether or not. Yes, exactly. So
impartial. I mean,
yes.
But he made it. You can't ask them who they voted for.
Right.
Why on earth would you not be able to ask them?
I go back and forth on that one because either way, like that answer is kind of okay. So. I know what you're saying is that they're not using that question because they want to basically guarantee everyone was.
They want to hide the fact that they're all
voted for
on the
Hillary
other side
or whatever. However, like if you ask that question, so from the other side of it, the way that the judge could defend it is if you ask that question and they're like, "Oh, I voted for Trump." It's like, well, okay, you're partial towards Trump. Like so, either way they answer the question, it creates partialness to someone in some way or another. But it also, they should have like 50-50 or something.
Saying,
they should have like 50%.
Well, then it ensures that he's going to get acquitted because you have to get everybody to vote guilt. Like if 50% of people like.
But I'm saying if you stack it 50-50,
then it
you can
guarantees
still sway people. Not necessarily because just because you voted for Trump and
people who voted for Trump are all like witch hunt. This is bullshit. There's nothing they could do. You put me on that jury.
Most people on the other side.
You put me on that jury. And you throw like the entire trial, I'm going la 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 in my brain. I'm playing fucking royal match, and they're like, "So we think whatever." I'm like, "Not guilty."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, not guilty." They're like, "Do you want to look at the whatever?" I'm like, "No, I don't."
Good.
And good luck swaying my opinion, you fucking weasels. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you think you're gonna
the perfect juror?
Hey, you're gonna peer pressure me into he's guilty? Give it your best shot, fuckwit. Give it your fucking best shot.
I wonder if we'll see anything like jury tampering or like.
No, because it's rigged. That they are the enforcement.
Yeah, I know,
arm.
but you still have to have some faith in the defense, like to find out these things. You know, like that's their job. That's part of their job. Right.
They
now.
have a gag order. The judge gag ordered them. They cannot talk about it publicly. So if they knew for sure it's completely rigged, they have been gag ordered. If
How
they talk
rare is
about
that?
Very. If they talk about it publicly, they'll throw them in jail.
I feel like every single major trial in history, we've seen the lawyers in press conferences.
Right.
That is weird. That part's super weird.
Dude, listen, we know for sure, without any shred of doubt, that this is a coordinated effort to block him from not running for president and potentially exact revenge. We know that. Mm-hmm. No president has ever been charged with a crime after they're serving in office. Never. Not once in history until this. This is a nothing burger trial. So if you already know they're doing it.
Nothing burger.
It's like there's nothing there.
Oh, okay.
You've never heard that term?
I haven't.
Jeez. Not much of a Trumper, are you? That's a big term. Anyway, but like if you know they're rigging it, and I can back into the simplest way ever to rig the jury, which is you stack the deck to where there is no one
which
partial
is easy to do in
Trump.
New York.
You have their vote. You have
it's
not
also
only,
New York.
But I know, but you have not only do you have their voter records, you have their social media. Okay. So like you literally know everything. Everyone vomits shit. I can go on someone's social media, and if they have ever talked about politics, I will know exactly who they are instantly. So it's like, what do you need for a trial? Fucking 30 people. You know how fucking easy it would be to stack 30 people that we know are going to be fuck Trump. Pretty goddamn easy is the answer.
Yeah.
And with that, we are out of time. So we'll talk more about this in our next episode. We love you guys. Subscribe to the channel.
See ya.
Bye.